Let's go behind the mask.
What up? What's happening, man? Listen, what a great football season that we had.
Yeah.
And we got to keep it going, though, bro.
Facts.
Because just because the season is over, the most exciting time of the year is upon us. And before we get into that, I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't introduce the plus size model to you over here.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. You know, Spikes didn't want to do that because Super Bowl just ended a few weeks ago. And of course, I won the bet. So as y'all know, Takeo does have to pay for an all expense paid trip of my liking to wherever I want to go. You know what I mean? But it is your favorite plus size model, Tutan Reyes in the building. I had to bring that back up because that's part of the off season. What do we do in the off season? A few things. One, we like to travel, go on vacation. And then two, free agency comes about, so we like to get paid. Free agency popping up, bro.
Yeah, hey, 1 out of fucking 10 is not good, sir. I've been tattooing you the damn pause. No freaky for the whole playoffs.
Hey, man, it don't matter how many you win. What it say is not quality, it's quantity. I mean, right. It's not quantity, it's quality.
No, you don't
know what I mean.
Know. You don't.
Anyway,
know what I mean. But like I said, man, the best time of the year outside of live games is the free agency and like draft time period. But you can't go to draft until you get into the free agency. Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Reyes, I think about free agency, man, and the first thing that comes to my mind is before you even get to free agency, I go back to, you know, the guys that are being tagged, and that brings it into light. Recently, the teams had to designate their franchise and transitional player, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what exactly does that mean? Franchise, if you're a franchise player and the team tags you, then they will pay you the average of the top 5.
Yeah, top 5 players in your position.
Top 5 players in your position. And it also means no other team can negotiate with you. So you have to stay with that team, period. Yeah. Now, the other one was the transitional tag. That's the one that I was hit with in Cincinnati, to where instead of being paid the top 5, now you're being paid the top 10 in your position. But the difference is you get an opportunity to have a team to negotiate for your services. Now, if your original team lets another team do the deal, that team, your original team, can come in and be like, you know what? Thank you for doing the deal, Buffalo, but we'll keep him right here. And therefore I have to stay and sign that deal. You know what I mean? So that's what makes it so good, because you really get a chance to see, you know, what players are franchise players. Yeah. You know, you get a chance to see what teams put in a poison pill. Usually happens in transitional tags. I got a good story about that. So that's what makes this time of the year so good, too.
Yeah, man. And there's a couple of, I guess, different perspectives to that, too. You have the players, you know, when I played, that may have not had those mega deals, those big years, to where they're like, you know what, a franchise, I got an opportunity to be a franchise player. Hell, I can make the top 5 in my position. That's close to double-digit million for a 1-year deal. So you play that 1-year deal out, and then you
can get like a 1-year $12 million deal.
Yeah, and then you go, you know, do your thing that year, and then you right back into the market to be a free agent again. And if you become a free agent again, then you can get that long-term deal. The flip side, players like my brother Spikes here, his position, you know what I mean? You guys wanted that security of the long-term deal, multiple years, obviously more money, but you're not the franchise player. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like, you give me $12 million, and the previous year I was only making 1.4. Let's run it.
It's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative. You know what I mean? So I mean, kind of is what it is. But at the end of the day, this, like you said, this is one of the most exciting times of the year for me. I said it before. I say it again. The 3 times I like week 1, because that's when the season begins. The Super Bowl, because everybody wanted to make it to the Super Bowl. That's what we all aspired to be. And then free agency, because at the bottom of the ticker, you see where everybody gets the bag. We know a lot of people that, you know, that came on the show. Big Trent Brown, he got the bag. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne Brown, he got the bag. A lot of players that stopped by the Behind the Mask podcast have really broke the bank, and that's what you want to see when the teams back up the brink trucks. You got an opportunity to change your life. And man,
legacy's life.
Legacy.
We talking about generations.
Yeah, and like you said, before you get to the draft, now teams got to really put up or shut up. But what do you want to do in the offseason? Do you want to address the needs like you were talking about in the last episode? The Bengals have several needs that they have to address, particularly up front, the offensive line, if they want to keep Joe Burrow upright, make another Super Bowl run. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it's all about right here, man.
No, I totally agree with you. And to that point of when you talk about the Bengals got to bring in some offensive linemen, it's like it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
You know, so when you look at this, another perspective on it is to be able to see it, and you get a chance, the opportunity to see what other people's perspective of you really is, which is important. You know, I think it's not so much you take it to bed with you and let it completely total control your life, but I think it's important how you are perceived.
Oh yeah.
And also equally as important to see how you are perceived from your own team, and that determines the market rate.
Yeah, it does. And sometimes, again, you can be on the winning side of that coin or the losing side of the coin. I remember I got injured with the Carolina Panthers, just started 2 years up there in Charlotte, did my thing, played in the NFC Championship game, got injured down the stretch during the playoff run, and had to get shot up twice before each game just to make it through to play these games in hopes to make it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But then when you go into free agency, the first thing when they interview or ask the previous GMs or previous coaches about you, well, how did he play down the stretch? Hell, all you got to do is turn on the last 3 games. And that's what they said. I'm like, shit, the last 3 games, I was banged up, but I still thugged it out, made it through.
You made it through, but how was your play?
It was good enough to not give up no sacks. It wasn't as, flawless technique, but, everybody plays banged up. So that's not an excuse. But what I'm saying is, if they want to devalue you, like you just said, that's all they could do is just, throw some salt on your name or say something that may not be looked at in a positive light. But that wasn't the case the whole season. You know what I'm saying? And it does happen. It's part of the game in the league. And you look at, players like AB. If something would have went down with AB and he's still playing, they could have said, the Bucs could have said something. It happens all the time in the NFL. And, for the players that don't know, check with y'all agents, man, because it's real out there. You'll find out exactly what a team feels about you, positive or negative. They love you, then they hate you, then the next team signs you and they love you again. It's part of the league, man.
Yeah, it is. I live that life. And I'm just even thinking about just from the free agency time, right? So for me, coming out of Cincinnati, and I knew I wanted to be out. Like it was no questions about it. I went into free agency on this day right here, this time of the year in March, February, late February. That's when they had the open dates to tag you, whether or not, declare this player is going to be free agent, not a free agent, but transitional or a franchise guy. I was tagged with the transitional tag from the Bengals. And so when they tagged me, I was like, I still got a chance to get up out of here, right? You know what I mean?
You wanted to leave.
Like I wanted, listen, I ain't here to trash the Bengals, but I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah, at that time.
Like at that time, like, man, we were bad, bro. Like, can't nobody tell me nothing when you go through a 2-14 season and you got like 10 weeks in between time before you even won the next game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be out, but the big thing was, what other team can you find to take that jump with you? Because like I said earlier, explaining the difference in the two, when you're a transitional tag player, now you become paid the average of the top 10 versus the top 5. But the bonus is you get an opportunity to go deal with other teams, negotiate, and let them. A lot of teams who hold the initial rights, they feel like, well, I'll just let the other team just do the deal for us, and then we'll just do it.
Yeah, you negotiate over what the other team says.
Yeah, or they'll just be like, oh, this is a poison pill. I'm not going to do this deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what it came down to. And I was fortunate enough, the Bills put together a nice contract. Shout out to Bills Mafia, baby. put together a very nice, lucrative contract, and the rest was history. That was when I left Cincinnati, and I still remember. I was like, man, I hope they don't match it. I remember calling Marvin. All right, Marv, you got stuff you want to do. I got stuff I want to accomplish. Me and you in the same room just ain't gonna be a good look.
Yeah.
Love Marvin to death, but I just wanted to get out. But it worked out, man. And you know what the cool thing was? It's like that's one day when you can really sit back and watch Sports Center and have all of the emotional high and don't have to worry about a low because they show all of your highlights. What are highlights? All your best plays. And they talk about how the team won who decided to get you.
Yeah.
And then more than anything, you come home with the bag.
Yeah.
So, man, boy, I was like, man, my family really ain't got to work now. So, you know what I mean? I was going to put my people in position to be able to win, man. But it's awesome, dog.
Yeah, man. And your situation is similar to a lot of guys that I look at now in the 2022 season that are going into free agency. You talk about Devante Adams, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. We were watching some of his highlights earlier. Smooth as other side of the pillow, bro. He cold. You know what I mean?
He cold-blooded.
Yeah, cold-blooded, man. Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger's been in the league for several years and still productive at the safety position, and so he should have another payday coming. Chandler Jones, still one of the best defensive ends, edge rushers in the league, and then Von Miller, who just won a Super Bowl. So how real is that? You win a Super Bowl, you leave Denver, a team you've been at for several years.
Yep.
Go to the LA Rams, win a Super Bowl, and then have an opportunity to go into free agency. You know what I'm saying? So that's those chess pieces were moved the right way. The stars align for guys like that, like Von Miller, to actually go out there and have an opportunity now to secure another bag. You know what I'm saying? And you have your choice of the teams that want you. They want a Super Bowl vet. They want somebody that's won, that shows they can win, a two-time Super Bowl champion. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. Again, the flip side, the waiting game. They have different waves when you go through free agency, right? That first wave, now we got about a couple of weeks before, you know, the actual teams can say, yes, this is who we're signing. And you start to hear the rumblings. Okay, this team is, you know, looking at this player. This team is looking at this player. And you may be, you know, second or third ranked in your position.
Right.
So a few things come up. And you might see guys going off the board and you're like, damn, I know I had a better season than him. How's he going there? Or this team was looking at me, they picked this guy.
Yeah.
And then you sitting there playing the waiting game. For me, when I got to Buffalo with you, I think it was like 06, I was playing the waiting game.
06.
Yeah, that's the year I left the Panthers, switched agents. And then when I switched agents, everybody that was looking at me under my old agent no longer were looking at me in the free agency period. So now I'm getting to Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? Finally, right before the draft, I get picked up. Now, people, it's all of a month and a half, maybe 5 weeks since free agency started to that particular time when I got signed. But when I tell you that was the longest 5 weeks of my life, waiting for a call. All the teams that were just interested a few weeks ago before I switched agents, talked about the chess moves, wasn't the best chess move at the time. You know what I'm saying? No longer interested. So I'm waiting. Nothing's happened. I'm sitting home like, damn, is this really it? And you talk about the players that go through the psychological warfare that you're playing, the mind games, the depression. Is this really it? And I'm in the game for 5 years now, going, I think 6 years now. And I'm like, I know I could do this. I could play this game, but ain't nobody ringing no phone call or ringing my phone, calling me saying, yo, pull up.
Yeah.
Man, the Buffalo came and I, shout out the Bills Mafia again. It's not necessarily where I thought I was going to go. Obviously became a teammate of yours and, went up there, played for a year, but shit stressful, bro. Stressful, man. So it's a flip side to that coin, man. But as you said, once you sign on the dotted line, you know what I'm saying? You make sure that if you got incentives in your contracts, hopefully your agent makes these incentives attainable for you. You know what I mean? And you're like, yo, this is all right, cool. That's behind me. Now I can get back to what I want to do, what I love to do, and that's playing the game. So it's a roller coaster, man. One way or another, it's a roller coaster. You can either keep going up and down like I did, or you can just get to the top and then boom, and you good like you did. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm smiling because I'm thinking about, like, I was like, all right. I was like, man, when I got drafted, I knew I had some money.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But it was just more money that I've seen. So I was like, all right, I got this first contract secured. It was 5 years, 6 mil.
Mhm.
Then I was like, all right. I used to talk to my mom I used to like, Mom, like when I sign this next big deal, I'm telling you, when I get that next big deal, then that 100, I'm gonna have a $100 bill. When I take a damn dump, and I didn't want to cuss in front of my mama. I was like, when I take a dump, I'm gonna wipe my butt
Come
with
on,
$100
man.
bill. I said I'm gonna wipe my ass with $100 bill.
Yeah, that's what you did, yo.
I was like, because I was like, man, I made it. I've arrived.
Yeah, that's what you
Guess
chose to
what
do?
happened after I signed and I had to take that dump?
What?
Man, I was like, are you stupid?
I'm about to say, bro.
Negro, that's $100. You a fool?
Oh,
You know
man.
how many dances I can get off
You know
of
what I'm
that?
saying? That's the
Back then,
mindset.
that's when dances were $10.
$10, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, no. I ain't tell my mama that. She probably hear this on this episode, but it's just I kept that 100 in my pocket.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. Yo, bro, I think it was like I ain't even need free agency for me to go to the spot. You already know that. I was a strip club connoisseur. You know what I mean? But yo, when I got the times that I was a free agent and you do get that lump sum of money, and like you said, to your point, is the most that you've seen. Chances are, it's the most that you've seen in your lifetime. You do have that feeling like, damn, you know, I've made it. I've arrived. Somebody appreciates me. They value what I do on the field. They
Right.
value all the sweat, time, and heat that I've put in, all the hard work that I've put in. So you it's only right to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I think of the same thing. I took the family on vacation, you know what I mean? And bought moms a car and, you know, bought the ex a car at the time, you know what I mean? Paid off the house, you know, stuff that you feel like, all right, let me handle this now while it's, you know, the grass is green, while it's up. You know what I mean? You see a lot of guys. I bought a chain one year, you know what I mean? That was stupid. I listened to Mobb Deep, yo, and I remember Prodigy, rest in peace, Prodigy said, I rock 40-inch cables, drinking white labels, my chain hanging down on my, you know what I'm saying? My piece blank glass table. So I'm like, 40-inch cable. I got a diamond, 105 carats, 40 inches, yo.
You
no pixel,
idiot.
Nothing.
That was the piece. You still got
diamond,
it though.
I still got it. Absolutely. But you know what I'm saying?
That's classy though.
Yeah, but it's stuff you don't necessarily need. You know what I mean? So it's like,
come on. Who's to say what you need and what you like want?
Nah, you supposed to, you know, splurge to the best of your ability. Like you said, it's all relative.
Yeah.
You wanted to wipe your butt with $100 bill. I wanted to get a chain of like a rapper has. It's all relative, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, these cats got a lot to look forward to. And of course, the teams, here's another part of free agency that kind of messes with your mental. Imagine as a player, you're a free agent, right? You go into a team. Obviously, if this team signs you in free agency, they have a need at that position. So imagine getting picked up in free agency and then following that up, that same team drafts your position in the first or second round. Imagine that.
So what's the thought process behind that, though?
Bro, listen, man. The whole anytime you're playing,
because as a first rounder, I just want to say this: as a first rounder,
you gonna play.
Yeah, like they ain't finna come back and draft somebody the next year, first, second, or even third. They're kind of more so like fourth, depending on if your backups are horse shit. Mm-hmm. But if they pretty decent, then they don't stay in the fourth, fifth round. Go ahead.
Yeah, but nah, and that happens all the time. I don't think that necessarily happened when I was a free agent, but I've been on teams where I've heard later on the GM said, we drafted this guy to replace Tutan. And it didn't happen, but I was still like, damn, this is a cold world out there. This is part of the game. So imagine if you get broke off or you know, you sign a deal, it's the second year in your deal, and you're doing your thing, and then they start drafting people at your position. So now, back in your mind, you're like, all right, it ain't as sweet as I thought it was. You know? It's like, yo, shit is real in this game. And,
like, you don't have no time to relax.
You
like, breathe,
no
really.
Relax. Even when you get your bread, they coaches literally say, I'm coaching to replace you. I'm drafting people to replace you. I'm developing players to replace you. And it's kind of, it is what it is. That's part of the game. You know what I mean? But, you know, back to this whole free agency thing, I think it changes your perspective, your mindset of the game. You know what I mean? And one thing I will say, though, with these players there's still no loyalty. Because as you said, you've been on teams where you've been a free agent and you thought, you know, it's the world, and all of a sudden maybe another coach comes in, another GM comes in, or you may have an injury or something, and then a couple of years down the line into your contract, they ask you to restructure your contract. You know what I'm saying? They ask you, will you take a pay cut? So you got to get it while you can. And for people that don't understand the life and the mentality of a player going into free agency and why guys hold out, watch this year how many players y'all see hold out. It's going to be some of y'all favorites. We've talked to them. Some of them we've interviewed on the show. Some of them coming up on season 4. There's a lot of y'all favorites that are going to be holding out this year. And I hope y'all don't get on their bad side hating them because they're not going through mini camp and training camp. Nah, they trying to secure their legacy for the future. And it's only right.
That's a great tease to what you just did. For season 4. I like that.
Know.
I like that,
see
bro.
What I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did. But no, it's imperative that you get as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that window of opportunity is going to stay open for so long.
Yeah.
Only for so long. Yeah. And so that's why it's important that you have to capitalize on that moment and understand, man, it ain't, you know, it ain't personal.
Nah.
Like, this is business, you know, and if you're fortunate enough to be, you know, some of these guys out here, I'm about to tell the names.
Nah, don't tell the names yet.
I'm about to go ahead and give it to you right now.
Yo, we got some heat. Season 4 gonna be crazy. We got some heat.
But nah, like, if you're fortunate enough, like, put your stamp of approval on yourself. And once you do that, then you will be able to earn. You'll be able to get what you earn.
That's a fact.
You know, ain't nobody, like, what's that old saying when it talks about negotiations? You don't get what you earn, you get what you negotiate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's important to make sure you got good representation and you take advantage of every dollar, because that time is not going to last for long.
Yeah, man. And you were a free agent a couple of times in terms of getting those larger contracts, you know what I'm saying? So for you, what was the best free agency experience that a team offered you? How did they woo you and say, yeah, you need to come here, as opposed to taking this trip to the next team and letting them get a shot at signing you as well?
Oh, it was private planes from several teams. You know, one team I have a certain size plane, and then the next team I have like a big plane. They have the stewardess on there, and then they put all us on the plane. My mama and everybody. My mama like, oh, boy, they got peanuts and everything on here. Boy, let me get some of the peanuts in a damn Coke. Mama, I'm talking about you, Mom, and a Coke. So I had the whole crew on that, dog. Like, but nah, though, it's so cool, man, and they know it. They'll make sure they know everybody's name, first name. You know, they'll get all of that. They know the background history of what everybody was doing. Even my brother, he was a teacher. And, oh, Mr. Swan, how was everything going, man? How's those classes coming along?
Yeah.
You know, things of that nature. So it makes that personal connection, because, like, the reality of it is this: you not only get the player, but you get that family too. Yeah. And it ain't just the player's problems you got to worry about. If his family is going through stuff, that's your problem too. If you an owner.
Yeah, that's a fact. And again, I'm gonna tell you the flip side to that coin, because there's been times, again, you go out there.
We ate good. We ate good too,
man.
Our steak dinners.
It's times too, and because everybody's experience is different, right? So there's times literally that, again, I've played for a couple of years, and I go to a team in free agency, and I think I'm there just to go and meet the staff and the O-line coach and the offensive coordinator, and I'll go to the training room, and they give me some field turf shoes. I'm like, what's these for? It's like, oh, you got to work out. I'm like, work out? I've been in the league like 5-6 years. I look like working out. Y'all got Y'all got to film the show.
This is
Y'all
supposed to be
yo,
it's a free agent,
bro. different types of free agency, right? So I go in there, kid you not. 1 year,
What they tell you?
Yo, bro,
What happened?
I went to the Houston, Texas. I kid you not. I went in there, and then they had me work out, and it's like, yo, you got to run a 40, do this. I was like, a 40. I was like, a 300-pound lineman running a 40. Like, really, bro?
And they only make y'all do run the 40.
But they make you run a 40, but they time you 10 and you're 20.
And you're 20.
I was looking at them like, yo, y'all got life up, yo. It's like, y'all got life messed up, man. But I'm going to tell you how I got them, though. And I think I told you this story before, too. I used to rock Prada sneakers back then.
Yeah.
So I'm out there, and before you run the 40, you got to, like, bench 225. I'm like, this is the combine all over again. Like, what's the reason?
And you was already a free agent.
I was probably like, this time I probably was like a good 8 years in the league, bro. I'm like,
what you thought when
I said, all right, yo, y'all got some tape? It's like, yeah, I wrapped my wrist up. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the last time I did the 225 test. Like, really? 8 years in the league?
And they ain't tell you before you got there?
No. I get down there, Prada sneakers on. It's like, yo, you want some turf shoes to, take your sneakers off, your Pradas off? I was like, no. Went in there, did the bench with my Pradas on. It's like, I ain't gonna lie, I did 20 and racked it just to do it. I was like, yo, never again. They's like, you know what? And never before have we seen a lineman come in here and work out some damn Prada shoes. I got it done, man. I was like,
he ripped off 20 in the Pradas.
But
Prada, we need that sponsorship.
That's
Stop
a fact.
it.
Yeah, name dropping right now. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many different stories and where y'all see this. What happened when they told you to work out? Because there's a story about that too. Then one of the teams asked you to work out or call you up there to work out. I think you said, nah, this ain't gonna be. I think it was Detroit.
No. I went to see Detroit. Hell no. Detroit asked me. They wanted me to come up there and ask me to a free agent.
Right.
This is after I got cut from Philly. I had the shoulder surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me, like, well, when you come up here, like, Rod Marinelli, I'll never forget this. He was like, Takeo, I want you to know now, when you come up here, baby, everything we do around here is compete. And I was like, all right, maybe he's just saying that. So then he came back around. Hey, baby, everything we do, we compete. And I was like, hold up, coach. I say, I just want to make sure we on the same page. So you mean to tell me what I'm hearing is you telling me I have to compete for a job, but you brought me up here and you've been calling me. Mm-hmm. No, we're not saying we just don't give up. We want you to compete. I'm like, coach, in all due respect, and I've been in this game 10 years already. Pro Bowl, all pro. Detroit, the only one, I want to say maybe 3 games a year before. Mm. So you telling me I got to come up here and compete? Man, what the fuck they do that at, man? You think come on. Nah, coach. I say, coach, I appreciate you, but I'm good.
That ain't it.
That was the beginning of the era, baby.
And then where you wind up signing that year?
Bay Area, baby. The faithful.
Sure.
Shit got right, man. You know what I'm saying? It got real good.
For sure, man. But yeah, man. So all these, players, they have an opportunity to change the trajectory of their life as they know it. But still, it's 2 sides to that coin, man. You know what I mean? So I'm appreciative of what I did get out of free agency. I loved it. I ain't had no Takeo stories, you know what I'm saying? It brought me to Buffalo where I really got really cool with my bro. You know what I'm saying? It went from I pull up to my crib for the Super Bowl parties, and I call Takeo, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm outside. He like, yeah, I'm gonna buzz you in a second, and I don't get buzzed in.
No, so now, come on.
When I'm on Buffalo and we got cool when I'm on Buffalo, then it's like, yo, fam, yeah, pull up. This is the gate code. So it got a little bit different. So
I had to do that. I ain't think I did that to you though. I think it was somebody who was with you, like I was like my dog. You was a +1, and you can't. A +1 can't add a +1. Maybe that's what it was.
That wasn't what it was, man. You was up in that high side, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, yo, we cool now, but We wasn't always that cool, man. It's some of my closest friends too, man. I'm talking about Spikes. Spike shat on me before. Carlos Emmons shat on me before. Deion Grant shat on me before. If y'all don't know what shat is the past tense of shit. So it happened in the past. They cool now, but there was a time they was really, y'all hear about NFL players and they, you know what I'm saying, they real,
Hey,
you know, they
dog.
bravado and all of that. That was them, yo. They crew now, but they fam now, but I'm gonna keep it 100. They was
The camera wasn't working. I ain't know who was with you. That's what it was that night. I'm sorry.
nah, man. It's all
We
good.
good?
Yo, man, we got some of the best free agents from the 2022 class coming on season 4. Some Olympians coming on, a few entertainers as well. It's going to be incredible. Season 3 was dope. We started off with a bang, ended with a bang, obviously. I got a vacation coming up, so you will see some snippets of the vacation, all expense paid by my brother Takeo Spikes. You know what I'm saying? Got to get him back for leaving me outside the crib for one of his infamous Super Bowl parties. But make sure you follow us on all social media at the BTM Podcast. We everywhere. We on TikTok. We on Twitter. We on Instagram. We on Fanbase, new platform Fanbase. We everywhere. Facebook. Make sure you follow us. Subscribe to the BTM Podcast. Anywhere you listen to your content, you can find us. Of course, watch us on YouTube. Share. Leave a comment. Let us know. Still, where you want me to go on vacation? You know what I'm saying? And remember, season 4.
10 vacation, man. Get up out of here, man.
I need to know where I need to go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I already started wearing the tight shirts to, you know, bring my plus size model out. Get ready.
Them
for
shirts
thing.
ain't tight. Maybe you
tight,
just getting
man.
big, filling up the shirt.
Nah, man. Shout out to Fades International. My man Mike Nice, the barber. You know what I'm saying? Give me this nice shirt to rock. You know what I mean?
Good job, Mike.
Yeah, gotta
See
get
what
right.
you're doing.
Yeah. And remember though, on the Behind the Mask podcast, there's only one rule. There are no rules.
Now let's go.
Season 4 on the way.